What's happening, everyone? As you can see, I am in enemy territory here. Helping me talk about the Arsenal game and go through the permutations of what's going to happen at Stamford Bridge on the weekend is none other than the wonderful Lee Judges and the Don Robbie himself. There's only one place to start, lads. Thank you, by the way, for joining me on my channel to talk about this game. I'm feeling very intimidated, but the place to start has to be Kai Havertz. I think Kai Havertz is on for quite a rough ride on the weekend if he plays. I think Chelsea fans won't be particularly kind to him. I can see him being booed.
Very nice.
He isn't loved at Chelsea, and considering his contribution to the club, it's quite a statement, isn't it? Firstly, I've got two-pronged question for you both, right? Does he start, and do you like him? Do you like him? Like, is he a player that you like him? You rate him? You want him in the team? You think he's just...
Listen, for me personally, when we signed him, I was shocked. I ain't gonna lie, I was shocked. I was like, just completely shocked. I didn't understand why we needed him, where he fitted, and particularly the price. I was looking at that price, 65 million. I'm like, it's a lot of money for Kai Havertz. But listen, he's an Arsenal player, and I'm like, I've got to get behind him, and I've got to be patient. He's only been here a short period of time. Yes, he hasn't lit it up yet, for sure. He's not. Had a nice little contribution in the last game, big contribution actually in the Man City game, and that's going to help him. The previous game to that, the game against...
You're not going to bring up his goal. You're not going to bring up the penalty.
Well, he scored
the charity penalty.
Well, he still scored it. Still got to score it, innit?
Penalty.
Mudryk might hit that about 10 yards over the box.
Mudryk scored a fantastic goal. Mudryk scored a fantastic goal against Fulham, mate. He's off and running.
Right, they both got one goal each, right?
And one was charitable.
Right, but it's still a goal. But I'd say his contribution in that City game, where he's got that assist, even though it was a deflected goal, I think that's bigger. I think that's something where that will set him in a good stead with the Arsenal fans. But he's got a lot more to prove for me. You know what I mean? I want to see more. I want to see him be a bit more confident in his play. You know what I mean? Take the ball on, be a bit braver in his play. And I'm hoping that that's going to come. But if you ask me, do I like him? Of course I like him. He's an Arsenal player. Was I surprised that we bought him? Very, very surprised. Should he play on Saturday?
Yeah.
Personally, I wouldn't play him. I'd start with Partey. I'll start with because we've been playing him as a midfielder, right? So for me, our best midfield is Declan Rice, Partey, and Martin Odegaard. I think if the Chelsea players see that, they will be more scared of that than if Havertz is in there.
Yeah. Would you agree? Would you like to see him start at Stamford Bridge?
The only reason I see him starting is Saka doesn't play. If Saka doesn't play, then Jesus goes to the wide right and Havertz down the middle. His two best games for us have been down the middle against Man City. One of the top sides. I thought he played really well in the Community Shield there, and obviously contributed when he came on our last game against City. I don't see him as a star, and that's the problem I've got with him at the moment. Like when you're spending 65 million taking him out of Chelsea, I don't see him in our best 11. Whether he can progress and become that when, say, like in a couple of years' time, Partey's not here or whatever, he plays in that left-sided role. But for me, I don't really know, and this is my problem with him, and we spoke about it earlier on, I don't really know what his best position is.
Yeah.
I have to say that. Like, I've watched him for 8 games.
Is that a gift, though? Like, is there a way, and I don't necessarily believe this, but just to play devil's advocate with it, is there a world in which having a versatile, almost fluid footballer is a gift to Arteta?
It is. It's a manager's dream at a certain time. It was a manager's dream back in the day when you only had 2 substitutes. Do you know what I mean? Now you've got 5, 6, 7, 8. You can bring on 5. It's not so much, if I'll be honest. Sometimes it could be in your favour as a player that you can play 2, 3 positions, and it can go against you because, obviously, you haven't nailed down one certain position. And that's the problem I think he's got. And Arteta, if I'll be really honest, has got the problem of where you're going to actually play him week in, week out. And that is a thing. Has he hit the ground running for us? I'd have to say no. But Do I like him? Yeah, I do. I do like him. I think that he's got something about him that I quite like.
It's quite a big statement, though, to say that he shouldn't. Neither of you really think he should start at Stamford Bridge.
I mean, listen, just because he cost £65 million doesn't mean he should come straight into the team. He, to me, has still got a lot to prove. Now, to me, I think he has been born as a versatile player. I'm with you. I don't know what his best position is. He has probably looked best when he sort of played up front. He's held the ball up particularly well and things like that. So, but I think he's been. I look at a lot of some of Arteta's recent signings, and he's obviously looking at players that can play multiple roles. You know what I mean?
With Premier League experience, everybody seems to have Premier League experience.
Even Jurriën Timber, who he brought in. I mean, Jurriën Timber, centre back for Ajax, and for also through the Netherlands as well. But Mikel Arteta was playing him as a left back, as a right back. He's not even played centre back yet for us before he got injured. So, you know, I think he likes players that can play in multiple positions. Zinchenko, who can drop into midfield, and he likes fluid positions. So maybe that's what we're going to see ultimately from Havertz. But at the moment, has still got a lot to prove, especially to the Arsenal fans. But we do like him.
Also in Champions League, he's got Champions League experience. Which when you have a look,
it's important.
When you have a look at, everybody's got Champions League experience now because they've played a couple of games. But before going into that,
finals is different.
Semi-finals.
So maybe to the Bernabeu and that.
Yeah, so maybe he's not just been brought for now. Maybe he developed. And listen, let's be honest. Me and Robbie, we want him to be the main man. I'd love him to be the main man at Arsenal and prove a lot of people wrong.
Well, yeah.
I don't know if he'd do that, though. Yeah.
If he was the main man at Arsenal, the best scenario would be for every Chelsea fan to be looking and thinking, why did we sell him? Why did he do that when he was at our place?
And do you know what? From our perspective,
see that with players, don't you?
You see it a lot. But from our perspective, honestly, I don't know a Chelsea fan that regrets letting him go. I don't know a Chelsea fan that didn't want him to go. So at the moment, I think we're winning this. But obviously, Havertz lifts the Champions League for Arsenal, suddenly it all shifts. What about the game overall? Generally speaking, Stamford Bridge has been quite a kind ground to you of late. Are you feeling confident here?
Yeah, listen, I'm going to, I think Stamford Bridge is one of the best grounds to go to. Whether we're winning or losing, it's an iconic ground. It's the old school sort still standing. It's got a fantastic atmosphere.
Not enough people. So it's such a joy for me to hear you both say this, because Stamford Bridge is so integral to who Chelsea are. I genuinely will not ever accept Chelsea moving.
No,
I hate the idea of it. I hate the concept of it. Chelsea only exists because of Stamford Bridge. Peter Osgood's ashes are buried under the penalty spot at the Shed End. You can't, all this. We're just going to move to Battersea or Chelsea have recently just bought a development. Yeah. And they're still saying we might move. Hang on a minute. There has to be some romanticism to the club.
Yeah, I like Stamford. I mean, the way
I didn't like it in the old days when they had the car park and all that. I mean, but no, over the years it's developed into a proper ground. I love going there. If you get the upper end,
you want to be in the upper.
Yeah, if you get the upper, when I get those tickets, they come through. It's in the upper. Yeah,
it's all right as well.
No, it's not as good.
No, only about 10 rows deep, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not so good.
When Van Persie scored
in the 5-3,
not the hat trick. You remember he scored a brace there on.
Yes, yeah.
I was in the lower. He threw his shirt into a crowd. I got it.
Yeah, you get.
Did you?
You had it? Yeah, I got it. Yeah, so I get that, but there was a time it was on the side, which wasn't.
Yeah, down
the.
So that's where when Kanu scored, it's all
he was on the side there. That weren't great. Nah. But then they've moved us to the where.
How ridiculous is that? We've given the away fans a shed.
It's a proper away end. There ain't that many.
No.
Like that now. Yeah.
It feels like because of that away end, when you go to Stamford Bridge, it feels like a
proper game, yeah.
Proper London tear up. It does.
Yeah, it's a proper. I love going to Stamford Bridge. I always have done. There's always something about it. You know what I mean? That and White Hart Lane, of course, were the two. But
you're confident this time? You're confident going into this?
I feel confident because do you know what? Well, I'm not going to be cocky when I say that. I think we're the better team, and when you're the better team, you've got to have confidence going in there. I've been going to Stamford Bridge when you know, I'm going to be really honest, you know that you're coming out there beaten. You know you're not going to win the game. Over the last couple of years, it's changed because we've got better players now, and you go to Stamford Bridge, not saying you're going to win and guarantee, but you feel like you're in with a chance. And I feel that, you know, if we play to our best ability, and Chelsea do, then we win the game.
I agree that you're a better team, right? But Rob, are you at all worried? Everything Lee said, bang on there. You're a better team. You're higher in the league. You had a better season last year. You've got better players. Your recruitment's been brilliant. You're better. Are you at all worried? Firstly, just because it's a derby and it could go either way, but also, how much of a leveller is Pochettino? It's all very well beating us last year. You beat Graham Potter. You beat Frank Lampard, but Mauricio Pochettino is a different. It's a different kettle of fish here, isn't it? Are you at all worried that the equaliser, despite being better, how much of an equaliser do you think Pochettino can be at Stamford Bridge?
Well, he didn't really equalise it up much against Forest or Villa, did he? So, I mean, it's still... I always feel he's obviously a quality manager, but I do always feel it does boil down to players and form, how teams are playing. And I look at Chelsea, listen, if we're not on it, they've still got players in range, Sterling and even Jackson. Even though he's not clinical, he's a player that plays with a lot of heart. You know what I mean? These players will cause us problems, definitely. Caicedo will be motivated. Modric, who could have went to Arsenal, will be fully motivated. So we're going to come up against a very motivated Chelsea. But Arsenal have been on form this season. You know what I mean? We haven't lost a game we ain't lost a game in the league this season. We've been not conceded away from home. I know it's still early in the season. And we've got some good players. And, you know, I look at the fact that some players even that are coming back, in like, say, Martinelli, he loves this Chelsea game. Yeah, I mean, if he's playing, Martinelli's playing in this game. Eddie Nketiah always has a good game against Chelsea. There's a lot of players in that team now that look on it and say, you know what, Chelsea, yeah, you know, at the Bridge, I fancy it, man. I always do all right there, where we couldn't always say that over there. No. And then we'd normally be going there. I agree with what Lee's saying. Normally when we've been going there, we are the inferior team, you know what I mean? We're coming up, we just retired last week, Hazard.
Yeah.
We'd be coming up against.
Yeah, you couldn't live with him. Coquelin versus Hazard.
And you're just, you're praying. And you're praying that, you know, they're going to have a proper off day.
It's role reversal, you know. We're now looking at it going, okay, they're a better team, they're higher in the league. But we're at home, we've got some mercurial players, and crucially, we've got a better manager. So ultimately, that's what it's...
Well, hold on. I don't know if you've got a better manager. You've got...
I tried to just slip that way.
I'm going to get fired. You should be in goal. You ain't getting past.
And I hope they don't come on it.
Yeah, we know you're for it, right? You know what I mean? I disagree with you, say better manager. I think the managers are probably on par. You know what I mean? What you got to look at what Arteta's done. You know what I mean? He's won a trophy in English football, something that Pochettino has not done. Despite Pochettino...
How much of that is Tottenham?
Despite Pochettino at a time having the best Tottenham side that they have had for decades, right? He had, with like Toby Alderweireld and Harry Kane.
Yeah, Dele Alli on fire.
Dembele in the midfield. That best Tottenham team they've had for ages, right? I know he got to the final of the Champions League, but he didn't win the league. He didn't win an FA Cup. He didn't win a League Cup. Every time he got a final, he blew it. So, you know, he's
good point. Well made.
He's a top manager, right? He's got a decent record when he's against Arsenal with Tottenham, away when he was at home. But I'm sorry, Arteta is just as good a manager as he is. You could argue better because he won a trophy.
I think he
won a trophy. He won he beat you lot, beat Chelsea.
He did
to win that trophy.
He did. It's going to be a tight, tense game. But I tell you what,
going to be the key.
It's being midfield, wasn't it? And your midfield's brilliant.
I think so is yours. So you've got good midfield.
Partey, Rice, Odegaard is potentially the best midfield in the league, though.
If that's
potentially the best midfield in the league.
Yeah, that's if that's what it is, Rory. Because you know, as much as I've praised Arteta, the one thing he hasn't really done is gone with that this season.
Never gone with it.
Does he not?
No, not until the last game when Partey came in.
Last 15 years.
Yeah. So I want to see that from the start. I want to see them three playing from the start. But
It's going to be huge. Sure. I love a game against Arsenal. It's like it's a big one. I tell you what, if Chelsea manage to get a victory, I'm coming back. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here on Monday, uninvited. I'll be knocking on the door. Thanks so much, Saz. I really do appreciate you you coming on. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you taking the time. Please give it a like. Please click subscribe. And as always, a huge thank you to the Don, Robbie and everybody at AFTV. Make sure that you click the link in the description below and subscribe to Rob if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. In a bit.